Hi there, I'm glad you're back to learn English from scratch. This is lesson 2, What are pronouns? Correct usage with verbs. I'm Avantika Singh, and if you want to see my face, it's right here. I'm a BTech graduate. This is my GMAT score. Maybe it will help you trust me more. Unacademy courses are free, but if you still want to give me all of your money, you can press the contribute button, and to show your support, you can actually press the green button underneath this video. You can also follow me for more lessons on Unacademy at this link. Let's get to business. This is probably the most important thing I'm going to teach you. These are the 3 forms of verbs there are. And thankfully, there are only 3 forms. For example, the verb to be in first form is be, in second form it's was, and in third form it becomes been. You might not understand why we need to know this right now, but you'll get it later on because these forms are actually going to be applied a lot throughout your English conversations. So just say it out loud just to get familiar with these words. Just say it out loud in this order. Come, came, come. Do, did, done. Go, went, gone. Draw, drew, drawn. Fall, fell, fallen. And break, broke, broken. Next up, we have pronouns. Now, what are pronouns? When you're talking to somebody about somebody else, you don't want to keep taking that somebody else's name, right? For example, if you were talking about me to one of your friends, you could say that Avantika is teaching on Unacademy. Then, if you wanted to add another sentence about me, Avantika is teaching us pronouns right now. So you wouldn't have to keep repeating my name because you would use a pronoun, that is she. You would, for example, you could say, Avantika is my teacher, and she is teaching me pronouns. Okay, so these little figures I've made just to symbolize the pronouns, that is he, she, it, I, and let's pretend that's you, we, and they. With he, she, and it, always remember that you have to use the verb and add an S at the end. So he, she, it always are used with is. He is, she is, it is. And when you're using the verb other than is, you could use the first form of the verb and add an S or es. Always remember it. And a little clue to remember that with he, she, it only you use this additional S or es. You could remember it because everybody knows that we say he is and we never say he am or he are, right? So you'll always remember that it's he is. So you can remember the S at the end of is and then apply that S at the end of any verb you're going to use with he. I'm telling you all this because I see a lot of people saying this form of verb instead of this with a he. For example, I've heard people saying he don't have many friends. You know, that's completely wrong because with he, you can always use does only. He does not have many friends. Okay, so this is a very common mistake. Maybe you've been making it without realizing it. You should check yourself. If you've been making it till now, you won't repeat it from now on at least. So with I, we use am or just the first form of word. We don't need to add an S at the end. Similarly, with these pronouns also, we don't need to add any S or es at the end. Now we learned when to use the second form of verb. The second form of verb is usually used when we're using the verbs in past tense. For example, he went somewhere. That was in the past. So we will say he went somewhere and not that he go somewhere or that he do this work. We'll say he did this work because we're talking about the past. Similarly, you can always use this image and then try to make sentences on your own, like I was there, I drew a diagram, and so on. Now we come to the third form of the verb. Now the third form is a little special because in this case, for example, just read these out: been, come, done, gone, drawn, fallen, broken. In this case, we'll actually add either a has or we'll add a have. So for example, he, she, it, with them we'll use what? Has, because remember we had that little clue at the end that the verb ends with s if you're going to use it with he, she, or it. Okay, so we can say she has done it. He has gone somewhere. Now we're using the third form of the verbs. We're not saying he has go somewhere. We're not saying she has do it. Okay, because we're using has here. Google has the best search engine. When do you use has? The word has is used actually to show possession, that somebody possesses some quality or something. For example, Google has the best search engine. That shows that Google possesses the best search engine. Or the team has some extra time. The team here becomes it. That's why we are using has with the team. It has some extra time. Who has some extra time? The team. Okay, similarly, we'll use have. I have a plan for you. I possess a plan for you. You have ketchup on your collar. The team members have some extra time. The members have some extra time. Okay, so remember when you're using, when you're talking about a lot of people, then you'll always use have. When you're talking about just single people, like he is just one person, she is one person, it is one thing. Here, even though we were talking about a team, we were talking about the team as a unit. So then it becomes a singular thing. That's why we used has. But here, we're talking about team members. We're not talking about one person, one singular unit. Okay, the members, that's why we used have with it. So with plural, you use have. With singulars, you use has. How do you use has or have in questions? Again, we'll use only the third form of verbs because we're using has or have. In question form, actually, the has or the have will come in the beginning of the sentence. Like, if I was not asking a question, then I could have said, you have seen that movie. Okay, then it would just be a statement. But since I want to ask somebody, I'll bring the have over here before the you. And I'll ask, have you seen that movie? Has everybody completed the assignment? Has she talked to you since then? These are some examples of questions. And now we'll look at how to shorten has or have. I have becomes I apostrophe VE. So, for example, you were saying, I have come here to meet you. Now, how would you read this out? A sentence with this would be, I have come to meet you. But with this, it would become, I have come to meet you. So you say it quickly. Similarly, you will do the same thing for all of these. But here an important thing to note is that even though the contraction for he has got or he has is he apostrophe s, it's actually also a contraction for he is. So you have to be careful whether when somebody is using he apostrophe s, whether they're saying he has or whether they're saying he is. Generally, when you say he is, you mean to say he apostrophe s. You just say he's like quickly if you're using apostrophe s, okay? Like he's late. Then you're saying he is late. And here we have some negative contractions as well. And then have got and have can be used interchangeably. For example, she has got a wonderful family is the same thing as she has a wonderful family. Now, the last thing I want to say is that you stay cool, use the rules. We all need practice, so don't give up. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.